All right, guys. Really special guest. I am proud to say that we're able to get Shaun, the one of the co-founders of High-Level, in today. I've been using High-Level for I think it's been a year now. I think I started. I transferred all of my softwares over from ClickFunnels and ActiveCampaign and all these different third parties. And I went under one roof with High-Level about a year ago. And I'm so glad that I did that, number one. And number two, it's one of those things where you're so reluctant to want to make the switch. But when you do, you're like, oh my God, why didn't I do this like a year and a half ago?
Oh, yeah.
But
That's awesome.
But I just wanted to say welcome to my various communities that we're streaming to, Shaun.
Well, hey, thanks for having me. It's great to be here.
Yeah.
I was gonna say one last thing, Jamar, is like Jamar had to convince me to come to Go High-Level too, because I was like all over the place. And I was like so happy that I did that as well. It's like it's the easiest pitch once you actually get in. Just like, dude, just stop bandaging everything together.
Yeah, we're lucky. We had a good team and they put together a great product, and I feel super humble that they're here. Hey, John.
Awesome.
Hey, John.
Yeah. So the first thing I think there's going to be some people in my audiences and people who maybe might not even know High-Level exists. Like myself, I don't think I really knew High-Level existed until about a year and a half ago. Even as large as you guys got in 2022, it still didn't even really come across my radar, honestly, until probably like the summertime. I should say 2021, not 2022. Could you give us a little bit of your backstory and kind of like how did you even come into creating this particular software?
Yeah, totally. Well, it was completely by accident. That's the good news. So we'll start with the fact that there was no master plan. There still isn't, but really what it was is myself and my original co-founder Varun, who's still my co-founder. He and I had a prior SaaS company serving small businesses, and we really on the accounting side, and we just sort of talked to them like we talk to our customers now, and they said, we really want more customers. And we said, great, maybe we can write some software for that. And so we kind of came out with High-Level version 1.0, which is really just two-way texting and some light reputation management. And, we would demo it for people and they loved it and they would sign up and buy. But then like 2 weeks later, they would call up and they would cancel. And I'd sort of take these things kind of personally. And so I just would say, like, what the heck is wrong with you? And, they said, oh, well, we love the software. We totally know we need it, but we just don't have time to learn it. And, it was really like, I don't get it, right? Like, why would you not have the time? So anyways, lucky for me, I got a call from a marketing agency who said, hey, we have a co-customer in common and we'd love to see what you're doing for them. And so we got on the phone with them and, it was really eye-opening because not only did the marketing agency totally understand what we're trying to do, they bought it for all 80 of their other clients.
Wow.
They gave us all kinds of great feedback. 2 weeks went by, they were still there. They said, hey, can we introduce you to 13 of our best friends? One of whom was going to have this thing. I had no idea what it was called. They called it a mastermind. Turns out it's like a meeting. And so we went down there and we sold, we were supposed to just do like a quick 20-minute presentation. We took over this poor guy's mastermind, but it worked out well. He was our first affiliate. So we sold everybody in the room. And what we really learned through all of that was that agencies really made the difference between success and failure for their clients. And so when we realized that our original goal of selling to small businesses, it wasn't because we were just trying to make money. We wanted to make the small business successful. And when we realized by what was counterintuitive, I think to most people, and probably still is that selling these types of tools to small businesses isn't going to help them. You need to sell it to people who can actually learn it, use it, and operate it on their behalf and in concert with them. And so we stopped selling immediately to small businesses at that point and only sold to agencies. And to this day, we still do. And then that original marketing agency called me. I mean, that's our third co-founder, Robin, actually. So we eventually co-opted him and made him come on full time. And
wow.
And here we are.
That's crazy. That's good. That's smart.
Yeah. And
lucky. I would call it lucky.
Yeah, I think something I'm going to pull away out of that is how important relationships are. And like going out and like actually like pre-COVID, like actually going out and attending different events and being willing to take risks. Network, take risks, relationships. And that's something that I know Logan and I are trying to put our best foot forward this year is to go like we're attending the mastermind here in a week and a half. And we've got some other things later this year that we're planning on. But those things are really for us is just to try and get basically boots on the ground, meet the people who are out there who are, a few steps in front of us in terms of where their online businesses are, agencies, coaching programs, and things like that, what they're doing to move their business ahead. If we can just because we constantly feel like we're like one step away from having like a really big breakthrough with not just what we're doing. And I'll talk about this in probably in a little while, what we're kind of building. And we'd love to hear your feedback too, because we feel like what we're doing is very, is maybe slightly, we are doing some agency stuff, but what we're doing is slightly different from maybe what the traditional agency model. So we're using High-Level as creatively, as creative as possible. And so definitely to hear it from one of the co-founders, your feedback would be amazing for us.
Yeah, so sometimes we jump on the support and they're like, we've never really done this before. So sometimes we're kind of like pushing the limits of what it could be.
That's
from
great.
what
And
I also
that's why we built it the way we did. I mean, we have open APIs and the ability to inject to custom code and all of that. And to your relationship comment, I wholeheartedly agree. I mean, we wouldn't be here without a lot of people who put faith in us in early days and who to this day, I'm proud to say, are still with us. I mean, that guy whose mastermind went to, his name is Rob Bailey. He's still one of our biggest supporters to date. And I think that speaks to a long-term relationship we've had with everybody we've come across. And, I think we learned and still learn more from our customers and the people that we serve than honestly, we could ever pick up on our own. So I think just exposing yourself to ideas, to what other people are doing, asking for support, I think can get you a lot farther than trying to do it all on your own.
That's huge. I think one of the reasons why I think you guys are kind of breaking out and kind of breaking the norm is that you do listen to people, like your roadmaps and like, hey, what should we do next? It's like pretty much all you guys are really doing. You're like, hey, what do you guys want? Let's try to do this. And that's probably why you guys are hitting this huge amount of success at this moment. Because also, like you said, like ClickFunnels, other competitors, they're kind of just focusing on like you said, the small business owner, and you're hitting kind of a market gap that I've never really heard of, someone just focusing on agencies. And like you said, that's probably what turns the needle for a lot more places than just, hey, try to figure it out on your own. It's crazy. It's really smart.
I mean, we want to work with people where we feel like we can play a role in their success. And, what we realized early on is, there are a couple of tools I would say that I've seen that do a decent job for small businesses, but they tend to be incredibly limited in their scope, because I think what people don't sort of really appreciate is how limited the time is in most small businesses, because they're out doing something most of the time, right? So they're driving around, or they're on the phone, or they're in a meeting or whatever. They don't have a lot of extra time to really learn these other tools. And when you really think about
That's true.
It's not just a tool set, it's a vocation, right? So, I mean, this is what I love about who we serve. There's a lot of strategy involved, and that strategy is not a stagnant equation. I mean, I wouldn't have foreseen TikTok being as big of a deal as it is today a couple of years from, and if you're in this environment, not only do you have to know that, but you also have to understand how to get in there and monetize it. We had our first live event in November, and one of our speakers, he was talking about how he was helping a local plumber sell plumbing jobs off TikTok, which really blew my mind, because I sort of wouldn't have guessed that's a possible thing, right? But this is what's great about the people that we have a chance to work with. They're out there every day doing these really creative, interesting things and really pushing the bounds. So it's cool to be in this environment.
That's awesome. So Jamar, do you want to kind of explain maybe what we're attempting to accomplish with Go High-Level?
Yeah. So Logan and I's background is truly in affiliate marketing. That's kind of where we got our start into kind of online business and things like that, is basically taking other people's products, services, and promoting it online for a commission. And we've been doing this. I've been doing it. I think Logan and I are pretty much the same. We've been doing it pretty much steadily since 2018. So we've got about 4 or 5 years, both of us under our belt with success. Obviously, it doesn't start that way because there are a lot of moving parts to digital marketing. You've got to learn, funnel building and website building, as well as copywriting, content creation, email marketing, right? There's all these different things that they don't happen overnight. And through the years, we've not just become affiliate marketers, right? We've developed the skill sets to be digital marketers, and we understand the one thing that all businesses need now. We understand lead generation, whether it's organic traffic or paid traffic. Businesses need customers, right? and that's kind of been the genesis of 22 into 23 for us is that we now understand how to generate leads for businesses. So what we've created really is what we call Digital Escape. So we have our white label software with you guys that we have as like the backbone of Digital Escape. But Digital Escape for us is also an arm of digital marketing education to teach people the foundational skills that you need to learn in terms of, funnel creation, email automations, and how to automate, the lead gen process is huge. And it's surprisingly, most smaller businesses have no automation whatsoever. And over the course of the last year of using High-Level and me getting more comfortable, doing automations and things like that, I'm like talking to small business owners or, even like friends in the office, because I'm actually a full-time, I'm not a full-time digital marketer. I'm actually a full-time military. I'm a Coast Guard lieutenant with almost 20 years. Next month will be 20 years. So I have my whole background is my pleasure. So like my background is in
next time I'm out and my boat is sinking or something, I'll think of you.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. And you can't see it off to the corner here is my hat box here. I've been in the Coast Guard for 20 years. It's been a job that I've loved, ever since the day that I joined in 2003. However, I'm getting ready to retire and I will be pivoting towards doing digital marketing full-time and in agency work and helping businesses, grow and scale and things like that.
That's awesome.
But Digital Escape, what we're trying to build is extremely robust. It's extremely done for you because of the way you can package the snapshots and things like that for people to come in, get the education, get the coaching in a clear, concise, condensed way where it can be kind of one click, but it can drive people to results a lot faster than what was possible 2, 3, or over 4 years ago. And some like Logan was saying, some of the things that we were asking support, like, hey, like, oh no, you can only fit 100 funnels. Like you can only fit so many funnels inside of a snapshot. So like we're out here like trying to like build all these these different funnels for all these different products that people can promote, say they want to come in and do some affiliate marketing. But we're like, oh shoot, now we have to give them like multiple snapshots and things like that. But again, there's always workarounds. You can create different sub accounts and you can create different snapshots off of those sub accounts to be able to give to people based on maybe what type of products they want to promote. So they're going to need specific funnels. But yeah, that's along the lines. Yeah. And that's along the lines of
push it all into one thing anyways.
Yeah. And I just want to tell this to my audience is that why we particularly love High-Level so much, not to fanboy over here, but like, but like there are many, many ways to generate a revenue with this software, not just like with like maybe your own personal info products or as an agency, but like as an affiliate. So like I started being an affiliate back in like May or June of last year. And I went the same route as some of the other affiliates where I created a free course. I did some promotion on TikTok, and lo and behold, thousands of leads came in. Some people stuck, a lot of people didn't. But what I have found is that this software allows for many, many different ways. Even if you, and Logan and I were talking about this, like breaking it down to just some of the specific tools, like you guys talked about, just the texting and things like that. Just breaking it down to reputation and maybe some automation with texting is a lot for very small businesses to do lead nurturing and just like automated follow-ups and things like that to try and get customers back in the door. And that's just, I mean, really, that's like 5% or smaller of what the high-level platform can do. Do you see, and we have this written down, do you see you guys continuing to bolt on more and more pieces, or do you see yourselves?
Yeah, that's what we do.
Yeah, I know. I know. And for us as
you have an alternative.
Yeah.
No, I mean, we don't see ourselves in the driver's seat of what we do, right? We see our customers in the driver's seat of what we do. And we definitely try to look out for trends that maybe aren't highlighted in the ideas list, but I mean, the vast majority of things are there. And we have product teams that are aligned to look at the various sections in that ideas list. They are trained to look at the ideas that have the highest votes. They reach out to the customers who create those ideas, and many of the people who have leave substantive comments. They get on Zoom calls with them, understand the use cases, and then they back into the product plan based on those interviews and those experiences. And so, while there are definitely things that we do one off here or there, the vast majority of it is always customer driven. So, and I expect that customers will continue to drive us to continue to make the platform better and bigger and different. And so we'll absolutely continue down that road. I mean, I don't have any reason to vary from it. Plus, we kind of enjoy it. So I think it works out well.
That's
yeah.
awesome.
And what it benefits us, right, is when you guys take the lead and your team is pushing out all of these updates, which, I'm sure everybody in the high level loves to see your face every single day. Is like, yeah, we got this update. We got this update. And I know I do, because then it allows me to my clients and to my students and to everybody who's using my software is like, hey, when these guys update, you guys get the updates.
Yeah.
Right? So it's so exciting to be using a software where they're basically pushing the limit as to like how many tools they can get to their customer base to help them, right, either provide more services or be able to help their clients achieve the specific goals that they have in mind.
Well, it's actually, I was going to say, white labeling is kind of like a cheat code, man, because I have no idea how big is GHL, like the team in
we're a little over 300 people now.
So it's basically like we have a team of 300 people behind us, and it's working for us 24/7. It's like, wow, that's kind of crazy, just being able to kind of claim that as our own, but yet also like promote you. It's like a win-win. It's really crazy if once people start to see that,
right? Because that's exactly how we think about it. We think about it as a partnership, right?
Yeah.
You're out doing your thing every day, and we can rely on you to do that. But then likewise, you can rely on us to be over here doing our thing, so that as you continue to move along, you're going to get that next tool that you needed or you need to kind of advance your business, right? And because it is white label, it's a very important part of our strategy, because what we really want to make sure people never do is they never think that like somehow the tool is doing the job, because that's where I think where in the past the model is broken. The small business owners who have been exposed to agencies in the past, they'll see the agency and then they'll see the tool, and the tool will invariably become less expensive than the agency. And then they'll just sort of say, oh, well, it must be the tool because it's less expensive that somehow, does the job. But, no one would say, I bought a saw and a hammer and nails and the screwdriver and I threw them on the ground and they built a house for me. No one would ever be that dumb, right? They would say, oh no, it was that guy over there swinging the hammer, who built the house. But for some reason with software, people have that same, that misconception, right? And so for us with the white label, it's two things. One, it gets rid of that misconception, because you sort of see the singular view of the agency. And the other thing is, if and when people do say, well, I want to pay you less and I want you to stop working for me on the service side, you can do that and continue to benefit from revenue on the product side, right?
Yeah,
so you're like, well,
that's true.
just so you know, the product doesn't magically run itself. But if you want to believe that, that's fine. You can pay me $300. Now, to be fair to customers, I've run into agencies who have been fired for getting too many customers, right? I mean, at some point, the average plumber can only take X number of jobs a month. I've actually met agencies
that's true.
who have had, have gotten a call and, hey, you've done such a great job, you're fired. We love you, but just can't take any more, take any more business. And so again, even in that case, the software becomes a revenue stream. And this is really the vision that we have for the future. And we've seen to be incredibly successful is that turning yourself into, at least in some fashion, a SaaS company is an incredibly scalable, highly profitable, long-term business model that whether you do services or you don't, or you do courses or you don't, or whatever your other items can be, the bedrock being that recurring revenue stream based around a 99% profit margin software business is an incredibly smart way to go, and is building some pretty impressive businesses that we've seen, some of which have already gone on to raise money, a few of which have already gone on to exit. So there's a lot of really cool things happening out there in the world.
Yeah, I see kind of like what we're building as kind of like the helping people build the foundational skills of digital marketing, and allowing them to use our software platform, and then eventually building up enough skill sets to transition into being more comfortable as a agency owner, or as a SaaS owner, because
I think that's really wise, actually. Incubating people like that, I think, is a model I have seen a couple of times, and I've actually seen people. It's interesting. I've had the opportunity to see one particular individual I can think of who was able to generate just tremendous amounts of volume initially, and they would try to bring them directly to High-Level, and it was just a terrible outcome because these people had no idea what they were doing. And we went back and said, hey, what if you incubated them like this first, and then they changed that model, and it was just a huge game changer because it reduced all of the support and friction up front for those new people. And then again, the ones that went on to be highly successful just would naturally graduate. And when they did, they just didn't need they didn't need as much support. So for those folks, they picked up the affiliate commission on the back end for the graduates. And then for the people that didn't graduate, they sort of had their monthly fee coming in directly to them because they were providing more hands-on support. But they also were able to put courses together and do a lot of the things that it sounds like you guys are doing. So I really like that model, quite frankly, better than almost any.
Yeah, and I love that. I love that word incubate, because eventually when we funnel more and more people into our program, we want them eventually to have that skill set and that confidence with the software, having just kind of used it, at maybe a lower price tier, but they're learning how each tool of the software can specifically help businesses, right? Because not all businesses need all the tools, right? Sometimes they just need very specific things. And if people can understand and get confident with using the High-Level ecosystem, then now they're incubated to the point where they can step out and be like, well, you know what? I'm pretty sure I can, start to run Facebook ads, maybe do some lead gen stuff. I'm pretty sure I can help, some local businesses with reputation, because I've been using the software. I've been part of the program. I've been, educated and all this. So now we just push them out, and basically, and consequently, we get the affiliate stuff on the back end too, where it's like, okay, now that you've graduated, here's some snapshots, here's some cool stuff that you guys can start with. And then they can be confident saying, I've got the skill set, and they'll more likely stick a lot longer because I brought in a lot of cool traffic last year.
It's great. And it's phenomenal.
Yeah, it was way harder for them to, the churn was like a lot of software can be higher, but if you incubate them, the churn's going to be way, way lower. That once they push, once they start their own agency and they start providing their own services, they're going to stick around way, way longer. So that's kind of like my long-term for Digital Escape, is really for people to get comfortable with the software and then eventually transition into agency owners.
Yeah. And I think that's a really good mindset. And I think, to your point, when I think of confidence, I always say, if you can get someone to generate $1, there's a massive sea change there, right? Because now they have a lot of hope, and they can see that,
Yep.
wait a second, all the things you were promising them can be done. And then if you think about skill sets, right? Like, is it that most people need to learn how to build, like to like swing a hammer to build a house? Or is it more likely that they need to learn how to sell the remodel job first, right? It's like, it's the sale that tends to be the sticking point, not the skill. And so when they come in, if you're taking care of all of the software side of things, and you can focus them out on the sale, help them understand the simple value propositions, all of those things, again, getting them to make that first dollar is massive. And then even there, I think you'll find there are people who want a side income, but don't want to actually do all of the things that go with that. And so they're kind of comfortable being like in your atmosphere forever, because they just want a little bit of revenue, maybe not a ton. So you sort of give people all these different options, right? And again, I like the fact that, and the nice thing about when you do graduate them, your costs should go down significantly, because now you're not holding my hand so much, right? I'm off doing it on my own. And so your profit actually may stay the same. In fact, you may even find it goes up. But like you said, because you've done it sequentially the way you have, your churn goes down, because the money is really for all people, including the people you're incubating, in the LTV, the long-term value, right? So if you can get someone to, like, I have one of the few local businesses we still have is a HVAC guy, and it's literally just reputation management. And I think if we got him up to 500 plus reviews, and he's been paying $300 a month for, like, I think almost 7 years or something.
Wow,
that's where all the money is. It's
that's crazy years. LTV.
Yeah, great. And I don't, if anything, he is significantly larger than when we first met him. It was two guys in a van when we met him, and now I think it's 14, 15 trucks, and he doesn't do any HVAC jobs at all, and he's got 50, 60 employees. And so and I will say he has always done phenomenal work, so don't get me wrong, but I would say that his phenomenal work would have gone well and unnoticed were it not for the significant number of Google reviews that helped move his ranking up and get him a lot more business.
Yeah, it's actually just insane how many like I was for my brother-in-law, he does HVAC as well, actually, but he's starting his own side business. And then within like 3 or 4 hours, we had his whole website going on, and I paid for that, and then email marketing. It's just like, if you actually, and I think this is kind of what the problem you're saying, like, a lot of people, they get this tool, but they have no idea even what it's capable of, what you can do with it, how it can help people. So it's really the education and training part that really keeps them within the ecosystem. And then, like, we literally, just before you came on here, Shaun, you almost quoted me, actually. I said, literally just getting someone their first dollar, making it feel like it's real, is going to be the thing that makes them motivated to stay and continue. So, like, that's kind of like, actually, we've in a way adopted a lot of Go High Levels, where you guys kind of give us the whole farm in a way. It's like you're giving us all these different resources, tools, always adding, so that we stay, because it's like, holy crap, why would I ever want to cancel? I lose all this stuff. It's the same exact thing that we're trying to do for affiliates in the area, where it's like, if someone wants to join affiliate marketing, we want to give them tons of funnels, all the opt-in and bridge pages they can get, tons of email swipes. And then Jamar, like right now, we're in the process of just creating a 2-hour training saying, hey, click by click, this is how you set it up. So a complete newbie who maybe, it's like, oh, I've never done a tech thing in their life. It's like, you don't have to worry about it. Just come in with us, let us incubate you, and then let's help you get your first commission within 30 days. And then I was like, Jamar, if we can get them to that point, there's no way that anyone will want to leave this program. That's kind of our goal, the exact same way.
Yeah, you guys are totally on the right track. So I think what you're doing is phenomenal, and you should just keep it up.
So I'm gonna pivot this, because Logan hasn't said anything about, he's big into automations and AI. He's been working with repurpose.io, and he's been doing a lot of work around kind of like content creation with like AI and
like AI avatars, if you've ever seen those.
Like AI avatars, and with all this chat GPT and everybody, really jumping in and trying to integrate it within their own, because everybody needs.
We'll have that live in High Level this quarter. We'll have our first.
Really?
I was going to ask you
in social media posting.
Oh, really? Like scheduling? And we already have some scheduling, but.
Oh no! Like, I mean, you don't want to write the post. Great.
Oh.
I mean, again, we really see our role as following our customer, right? So if
That's
we
where
look
it's
at what
all
our customers
going
are
right
already
now.
doing, yeah, exactly. And I only see this continuing. And so we'll start off with social media posting. Just we want to pick something that people use a lot. So with a lot of, that's very text heavy. But then, very quickly, I think it'll go to blogging and websites, and
Yeah.
we will get ourselves into real-time bots. Although what people don't see, I don't think people sort of conceptualize initially on that. So like writing a social media post, I mean, no offense to people who write social media posts, but they can be quite boring and generic and be just fine.
Yeah.
But I think that when you're talking about real conversations, you tend to come up against context that's actually not sitting on the internet freely available. Like how much does it cost to replace how much do you charge to replace my toilet? Right? Like that's not that's not just
Not readily
but
available.
that's a question people are going to ask, right? Or do you have appointments this afternoon? That kind of thing. And we've already done this already. To be fair, we've already did this with Dialogflow, and we've had this in the app forever. But on the ChatGPT side, I think what'll happen is we'll eventually allow you to train the model with your sort of specific items. And it doesn't seem all that difficult. But first, we're going to just make sure that people adopt it the way we've seen them, which is the adoption pattern we see today is, hey, write this blog article, write this Facebook ad, write this, whatever.
TikTok
so
video.
We'll have all of that. Exactly.
Yeah, it's just one more tool. It's one more tool to offer to your clients and say, hey, you want to schedule out 30 days worth of social media posts and then repurpose all those posts out? Well, guess what? Now you could probably do it in less than a quarter of the time, because here's an extra tool where you can just automate all of the content. And again, it's just one of those
Such
angles.
a game changer, though. Like
Yeah,
if you could somehow put that in the dashboard, it's going to be amazing.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
especially with blog posts and things like that.
The other thing of course, we always think about is how does this help our agencies make more money? And so,
exactly,
you'll be able to also upcharge your clients for using it. So I think that's also going to be a big positive of the motion, because I really think that those small businesses, the money is not going to be, you'll make really good money in the monthly fees, but you'll also make as much, at least, on all of the per drink fees, right? SMS charges, email charges, in a minute, Chat GPT charges, all of the, I guess technically GPT-3, but whatever, sort of incremental usage charges. And, eventually it could be payments. It could be, all of these things, right? And it's not that you're charging them excessively by any means. In fact, if anything, on all of these, you'll be cheaper than market. But the reality is like, that's a great revenue stream, and they were going to buy it anyways. They might as well buy it from you.
Yeah. Right. In the same place, and making it simple.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like that's my favorite thing about Go High Level, honestly, is just not duct taping 1,000 different softwares. And it's like, hey, let's just put it in one place, so I don't have to do all that integration and all this weird stuff that never works.
Yeah, that's the other. That's the funny part about it, is that, as a software engineer, that was always the promise I had too, which was like, oh, don't worry, there'll be APIs and there'll be like, you can seamlessly integrate all these systems and everything. But in reality, that never really worked. Something was missing, the APIs would break, and once you get 6 or 7 of them talking to each other, one thing breaks and your whole day falls apart trying to mop up the mess.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
Absolutely.
So you said this quarter is kind of looking towards ChatGPT, and would it just be like within the dashboard, or how are you kind of?
Yeah, so I actually put a video out in the YouTube channel about this. You can check it out. But basically, it's literally just, when you go to hit new post, it'll just be like new AI post, and then you'll tell us, what you want the post to be, and I want to be friendly or whatever, and I want three versions, and you hit go, and then it'll just generate the 3, and then you can decide, copy that, use it, modify it, whatever.
It's just crazy.
Very simple.
Yeah, it's a huge time saver.
Oh, for blogs, yeah, because like half of our pitch is like making our software integral to the entire business workflow every day, right? And so it's like one part of it is like, where do I come up with content ideas? And people freak out about that. It's like, how do I get content? Blah blah blah.
I totally agree. I totally agree with this. This is huge. I was actually on this. This is why I've been like on the template drive. But I'll give the credit to where it's due. Jeff Miller, actually, I talked to him about this at our event, and he's like, look at Betty Crocker, right? Like, you go into the store and everyone likes to buy the box because they want to tell their friends they like made whatever brownies. but you didn't make anything. Like you just mixed an egg and some stuff together, you idiot. Like you didn't actually make brownies. But everyone wants to say that, right? It like feels good. And in fact, there's a case study I think he highlighted where, off the success of their brand, they went out and they tried to just give people brownies, and it was a big flop because you'd have to admit, I bought these. Now you can't say I made these. And so what I think he likened this AI stuff to, which I thought was smart, is that idea. It's like, oh, I wrote this. I wrote this post. It's like, well, no, you didn't, but whatever. That's cool. You can tell yourself that. It'll make you feel better, but it's all just psychology, right? But that's the fun of what we do is, there's a big difference between perception and reality. And we've long since known that. But I think this is where clients will feel great. Like, oh, I wrote that post. It's like, well, no, you didn't, but whatever. You wrote a sentence. Good for you. But you feel good about it. And had we just given you 1,000, free posts or whatever, you probably would have been less satisfied because you would have felt like you didn't do anything.
Yeah, that's true. Like a lot of times people give like, hey, here's 1,000 articles, but how many times do people actually even use them?
Right.
You want to do it yourself. Yeah, it's crazy. I think what's going to end up transitioning is to like how to use these tools, like learn how to do the prompts. Like, that's going to be a huge thing coming up in the future because it's already here. Now it's like, okay, well, how can the user use it better? I think that's going to be a huge part of it too, which could be a huge training for us too.
Yeah.
I'm always very interested though, because, the other thing I would say is it's surprisingly easy to create ROI. And I think most people spend a lot of time overthinking it. Going back to the average small business, missed call text back probably would crush it for 99% of small businesses because they all miss calls. I know this because my first business out of college was an answering service. And we had 5,000 small businesses nationwide who missed calls every day of the week. And they would all confidently call up and sign up and claim that they were only missing calls after hours. And yet most of our calls came in at 10 a.m. So, clearly they were lying to themselves. And I would say that this is still a plague to this day. And so, you think about that one feature where you're able to text someone after if the business doesn't pick up and then say, hey, do you want to book an appointment? I mean, nobody calls like for fun. No one's like, hey, how's it hanging over there at the plumbing shop? Like no one's like, that's not how it is, right? They're like, hey, can I book? I'm like, I'm calling because I need something, dummy. And so, that one feature right there can generate monster ROI for people. And so, I think that while a lot of this stuff is incredibly cool, if you just see how poorly most small businesses are situated today, the hurdle rate to create value for these folks is so abysmally low. It's so easy. You just walk out and do that one thing and you'd create value for almost every small business in the country.
Nothing against Logan, but like when I get door knockers for solar, for landscaping, house cleaning and things like that, I get like the little cards, or I get people who actually come to the door because they're either servicing another house in the neighborhood here where I'm at. So Logan kind of got his start in sales as a pest control, like as a door knocker selling pest control sales. So for me, it drives me crazy when I see these either small to like medium-sized businesses that are still using old methods of, just kind of like to me, I feel like it's like almost like dinosaur times where people are going to the door instead of meeting people where they spend their time most, which is on their cell phone, staring at their cell phones every day, running ads to them on like through short form content or on a social media platform, then driving them into a funnel where there's automations where you can gather their information, you can qualify them. And then now by the time you actually get on the phone with them, they're actually interested in the services that you're providing instead of spending 8 hours in a day knocking on doors. And I had a guy 2 days ago, unfortunately for this guy, he came to the wrong door because I started asking questions about like, hey, what's your process like? Like, do you guys collect emails? Like, how's your follow-up? And he's just looking at me. He's just a salesman. He's like, dude, I don't know anything about what you're They tell me to go and knock on 70 doors a day. And I got to, pitch them on X, Y, and Z. And I said, man, if your company knew that they could probably like 25x their revenue if they automated, if they did some qualification, lead gen into a hot, like literally, I told them, I'm like, if you guys did this into a high level, I was like, man, I could probably set your entire company up with just a nice qualification, like survey, which then, led people into booked calls, which then, right, just the whole nurture sequence of emails and emails. And
what's ironic is I actually think there's a level beyond this that I'm waiting for people to catch on to, which is the affiliate play. So, I would call it referral software, but it's just affiliate software. Because at the end of the day, if you look at like a solar job, the amount of revenue and margin and everything else there is paying for someone to walk around, house to house, randomly knocking. So if let's say you did solar on my house and, do you think I might know other people like me, like people who are homeowners,
right,
who have money to afford solar? Oh, maybe. Imagine that. And then if you could incentivize me to tell my friends about you, and then you could make it so that literally I got paid cash if they got a solar system from you, then I would just do your sales for you. And that would be that.
Yeah.
Right. So then you wouldn't need your salesman. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. You wouldn't need salesmen to go knock on doors, because now instead it's somebody who actually has the system on their house. And they're just like, man, if I go and tell my next door neighbor, I'm going to earn $500 and he might get $500 off.
Yeah. Well, and who am I talking to? Am I talking to random strangers? No, I'm talking to people I probably know. And what is why is that? It's because they know, like, and trust me, right? Like I have a relationship with them. They probably are going to listen to what I say because they know me, versus your random sales dude who everyone is, has the
get off my door.
Yeah. And I'm surprised. I mean, I don't even open my door anymore. I have a ring. I just look at it. I'm like sales dude. I'm like, click, go. I see you. Bye. I'm not.
It's true.
Yeah.
It's true.
It's true. So sticking on that affiliate, since we're affiliate marketers really by nature, is the plan to eventually have like a kind of like an affiliate dashboard or a place I'm trying
to remember if it's this quarter. This quarter, I think this quarter is the affiliate dashboard. Next quarter is the second tier. And but I mean, this is kind of our MVP sort of skateboard model in progress, right? We came out with the initial system last quarter. We'll add add more to it this quarter, and we'll just keep going off infinitely into time. But again, this is where I think with very little tweak, I think most people could utilize it today to achieve what I just described. For every business standing, like, never want to buy an ad again? Cool. Give me a list of your existing customers. Let's come up with a reasonable offer where you feel like, it's a win-win. It's ironic because there used to be this thing called the Groupon, I think. And that's sort of kind of what they did. And, the trick was the business, exactly. Right. But the trick was the business owner would complain that they wouldn't make any money. But in this case, they're now in control of the revenue stream. So while I would sort of be okay with arguing that they probably lose, even if you lost money on the first sale or broke even or whatever, the reality is you're gaining a customer. And then the funny part is it's not like a one-time deal. So like if I tell my friend and then they buy your solar system, now my friend is now your customer. So they become a referral partner as well. So you very quickly, you just kind of do some basic mathematics. You'll find that's a very huge increase in the number of customers, all off the back of zero ad spend, by the way.
Right.
Which is huge.
Yeah. And you could use that existing, that DR, the database reactivation, where you take your existing audience and then you create an offer and say, hey, you guys have all bought and had service from us. If you go out and find 3 other people, we'll give you $2,000, right? Or just like you just give them an incentive. That's an offer in itself, right? And that drives basically free traffic.
You'll sort of get smart about these things, and like you'll say like, hey, why don't you just proffer up the info for your customer? We'll do the follow up. And then you'll just send out their link. So you'll do all the work for them, because really what you're trying to ride in on is their relationship with that person anyways. And that's truly all where most of the value is.
That's literally what we're trying to do, just with digital products.
Exactly.
Yeah. And we've used First Promoter, like most people have, as like an affiliate software, and we want to keep everything in house too, right? Of course, we're always trying to keep everything under one roof, and I think that we're looking forward to some of the updates on the affiliate side to be to have like an actual dashboard where all of our affiliates can come in and be able to check their stats, their daily stats,
Yep.
and all of that stuff.
Almost
So
there. Very close.
I know you're, and I'm not hesitant, but I'm like, man, if we continue building on First Promoter, we're going to have to move everything over, because once it's up and once it's to where we think that it's going to be equivalent to what is on the other side, then like the pain of having to move everything over, or we just continue, or we just build on high level with what we have, and then as things come in, it just makes our job as owners of Digital Escape a little more easier. So,
well, and we have that problem too. So I understand that pain, but there's no world that says you can't do one thing on one situation and another thing on another. Try not to get too stuck in one mindset or another. And you can do things that, like, we do it like this, but for our students, we know they should start out over here, kind of thing.
Like updating them as it go.
yeah.
I was gonna ask you. So you said there's multiple co-founders. Did you say that there's three? So what is your like? I know you do a lot of the updates, and what do you kind of oversee within the company? Like, what do you do?
Well, I'm technically the CEO, so so I technically oversee it all. But no, I mean, so Varun is our CTO and definitely is dev through and through. So he is fully responsible for both product management team as well as the dev team.
Okay.
Robin is by far and away the marketer of the group. So marketing, sales, but mostly marketing.
His trainings are amazing.
I pretty much just do the videos. All I really do.
Yeah.
No, I mean, whether it's working with customer support or customer success, or, really working with the management team overall. And my job is basically to get bad news and help deal with it, or help people plan ahead so that hopefully we don't run into that bad news, in the meantime. So I would say that's basically, I spend my day kind of running around helping people. Although I would still say I spend the vast majority of my time helping customers one-on-one or in the Facebook group or that kind of thing. Because I feel like a lot of my role is really to be the voice of the customer. And because, there are a lot of situations where you'll kind of see like the customer saying, help, I'm in pain. And the person on the back end will say, well, listen to all the things that I'm doing that, are trying to help this person. And then sometimes you have to sort of be like, yeah, but nobody cares. Like, I get that you're working hard and you are working hard, but just so you know, no one sees that. Therefore, it doesn't matter. Right. And so you got to realize, like, from the customer's perspective, they don't care. It's not they don't care about you, but they don't care about what you're doing because it's not solving their problem. And so we really have to sort of think about it from that perspective. Or, or a lot of times a big part of what we do is, we move quickly on the dev side. And a lot of my job is to protect that, because there's a lot of inclination in life to slow down and be more thoughtful and But I think that stuff is total crap, because, while there is some version of that makes sense, you really have to guard it, because I think people's sort of intuition is to take a lot longer than they should to take action, because there's a fallacy there, which is, if I plan longer, things just get better. But that's total crap. I mean,
no, it's almost the opposite.
Well, and the real thing you have to think about is, let's say you don't plan at all, could something come up to sort of completely, derail you? Sure. But so that's cool. Like, how long will it take you to think through worst case scenarios? Probably not that long. So let's say you sort of imagine those aren't going to happen. So now what's left? Well, it's sort of like the anticipated and the unanticipated, but what now is none of those are going to derail you. You already thought through those. So if you start, worst case, best case scenario, things come up that you anticipated, in which case you can deal with them. And then the more likely cases, things will come up you didn't anticipate, which is good, because now you weren't going to be able to figure that out anyways. So the sooner you get out there, And I think
Right.
in reality, with most situations is that it's not that smart people can't think of things that they need to handle or deal with. They just anticipate them in the wrong order. So, I see this on the product side. People will say, well, I think this is going to be the most important thing. And I always respond, how the hell am I supposed to know? Just think about the most minimal thing and get it in the hands of the customer. Because when you do that, the customer is going to tell you what the most important thing is.
Yep.
And sometimes that's right where you thought it was going to be, but sometimes it's a million miles the other way. In fact, good example of like where I made this mistake on the affiliate stuff. They said, well, do we need to do automated payouts? And I said, no, because I used to export the payments from our affiliate system and manually put them through PayPal myself for years. And I actually liked it because then, that was like real money leaving the bank. And the last thing I wanted to do was like kiss $10,000 goodbye and be like, oops, that was a mistake. But that's one of the biggest things people actually asked for when we released it. Because I think for most people, A, it's not 10 grand, and B, they sort of prize the automation of it over the double check of it. But the nice thing is, of course, in that scenario, that was like do less work before you release it. So I don't feel too bad about that. But again, it's an example of where I think someone else would have sandbagged and said, oh, no, we can't release this affiliate management stuff until there's automated payouts. But the heck with that, just get it on the road.
Yeah, that's a very, I feel like a lot of people are afraid to do that, but really you won't even ever learn, like how to improve things if you don't just launch. It's a huge fear people have.
Yeah. I mean, I think that most people sort of think, well, I can't fail if I don't try. But you can't be successful if you don't try. And I think that it's sort of about incremental motion, forward incremental motion creates the positive outcomes at the end of the day, not sort of sitting at home thinking about all the things that could be. You just got to get out there and try some things.
Yeah, that's huge golden nuggets for us, and probably for anyone listening as well in their own little business, in their own small business. But that's really cool. I mean, that's exactly how. You start a small business and then it becomes to where you're at now. It's just by, like you said, small increments over time and 1% better every day. Then you get a monstrous business.
I don't disagree.
Yeah, I think we're gonna wrap it up here, Shaun. I just want to say thank you very much for
jumping on here with us.
Yeah, for taking time out of your day, in between, like I said, in between your live updates on what's newest, latest, and greatest with the software that everybody loves so much. I'm looking forward to continuing to work with you guys and learning to. The crazy part is I learn something new on the software every single day. Like it's wild to me because it is so robust and can do so much that, like, when I find something new, I'm like, I get all excited. I'm like, oh my God, Logan, look at what we can do.
It's crazy
because it makes our lives, because so much is automated and it can do so much, is that makes our job as, to a certain point, we're educators because we are teaching people these digital marketing skills that we've learned through the years. And we're using High-Level as kind of like our catalyst to teach people these, what I think are life-changing skills today. Yeah. If you learn digital marketing skills today, you are extremely valuable. Anybody watching this right now, if you're new to digital marketing and you're like, where do I start? What do I do? If you just focus on just basic skills with digital marketing, whether it may be on the traffic side or the lead gen side, or, you want to be kind of more techie and back end and build websites and build sales funnels and stuff like that. That's cool too. All of those skills are so monetizable today, and they're most often location independent, which means you can do these jobs from home. You can do them on the road. You can be, in South Africa on a safari. As long as you have Wi-Fi, you can sit there and literally make money from a laptop. So digital marketing today, more and more businesses need it. They need people who understand it and how to get, more customers for them. And so that they can focus on providing the services and things that they do really, really well. And you can help them with that. So I'm super bullish on the rest of 2023 with all of the stuff that you guys have for the roadmap. I'm really excited, for the rest of this year going into the future. And also, I'm excited for attending next week to the mastermind and getting to soak all of the knowledge from all of the people who have tons of experience in this, the SaaS model, the agency model and things like that. So
Yeah,
I'm
we're excited to be here.
Well, thank you both very much, guys. It was awesome to be here.
Yeah, thank you so much for coming in. We appreciate you.
Yep.
All
Thanks
right.
everybody for watching.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye for now.
Bye.
Bye.